Hey y'all, hey. I had a little couple things I had to do this morning, but I really wanted to jump on and ask you a question. What are you saying? What are you saying? Y'all, we know that the power of life and death is in our tongue, right? We all agree that there's power in what we say. And sometimes we want to limit that to I'm working, so I'm talking, but I'm working. Sometimes we want to limit that to just the positive things we say. But I need for you to know that when we're talking about that power, that we give life to the things that we say, you give life to the positive things that you say, but you also give life to the negative things that you say. And so I want to challenge you today to stop giving so much power and stop giving names to the negative things in your life. Like, let those things die. Release all that negativity. Release that negative person, all right? That person that stresses you. Why are you always talking about them? See, this is the thing. So a lot of times when you're in the middle of it, you can't see it. And I understand that, because when we're on the outside looking in, you know, there's a different vantage point. We have a different perspective. You know how if you're in the middle of a thing, but when you come out of it, you can look back on it and you can see just how God has blessed you. But a lot of times when you're in the middle of it, you can't see it. It's the same thing when it comes to our words. So if you used to be in a relationship with somebody and every time somebody talks to you, you keep bringing that person's name up, you need to release that. You need to let that go. You shouldn't be, every conversation should not lead to somebody that you no longer want in your life. If so, you know, you got to go listen to Jamal Roberts' song Heal. Like, I didn't come on here to promote him, but we need to heal. Right? We have to heal from those things, because when you go to bed, that's what you're thinking about. When you get up, that's what you're thinking about. When something good happens to you, you want to throw off on that person and say, see, if you'd have been with me, you could have, like, your good ties back to them, your negative ties back to them. You need to be healed so that you can begin to speak what you want to see. Stop speaking the negative and speak the fruit that you want to see. If I don't eat, what's something I don't eat? I don't eat kale. So it wouldn't make sense for me to plant kale. It wouldn't make sense for me to grow fruits and vegetables that I don't eat, because it would be wasteful. In order for you to grow a particular thing, you got to plant it. You got to water it. You got to make sure it gets sunlight. You got to keep the weeds out of it. You got to keep the bugs off of it. Like, in order for fruit or veggie, for anything in the natural to grow, you got to tend to it, right? Like, you got to take care of it. It's the same way with our words. When we're always speaking negative, we're planting negative seeds. And then you bring it up again. Now you're watering it. You bring it up again. Now you're adding more light to it. You're bringing it up again. You're pulling the weeds out of it. It can never die out of your life. You can never be healed for it, because you're constantly tending to the thing that we say we do not want. And what we have to do is we have to train our mind and train our thoughts. We got to reprogram ourselves to think the positive, to say what it is that you want. And I know I'm talking about a relationship. That's just one analogy. It could be anything. It could be a bad job. It could be an old boss. You got a new job now, making more money than you ever made before. It's a job that you love, but you're continually comparing your new job to your old job. And so you're looking for it to go wrong. You're preparing for it to go wrong because you're used to things falling apart. I come to tell you this morning to begin to speak what it is you want to hear. Speak what it is you want not to hear, but what you want to see. Water it. Give it life. Give life to, this is the best job that I've ever had. I'm going to move up. I'm going to move up here, and I'll be able to obtain whatever level I want to obtain in this job. Don't even mention the old job, right? When you get in a new relationship, God, I thank you for this new relationship. I thank you that you're showing me something new. I thank you that you love me enough to give me another chance. We don't even mention the old. Like, you have to heal from the hurt of the old so that you can begin to speak life into the future that you really want to see. The power is in our words, because our words come from our thoughts, and our thoughts come from what's in our heart. And if all of your words are negative, that means there's a lot of negativity. There may be hurt. There may even be bitterness in your heart, because bitterness is revenge unfulfilled. Bitterness is revenge unfulfilled. So something may have happened and you thought you deserved something from that. Like you deserved an apology, you deserved acknowledgement, you deserved something from that. And when you didn't get that revenge, when other people still begin to love on somebody that did you wrong, you felt like, you may have never said it, but you felt like they should have been punished. You felt like they should have not gotten to the next level because of how they treated you. And so now what happens is that revenge unfulfilled turns into bitterness, and bitterness takes root in your heart. Now your thoughts are negative and so are your words. And so if you want to see something different, you have to say something different. If you want to see something different, you have to do something different. If you want to see something different, you have to be something different. I'm telling you, I was just thinking about this on this morning, thinking on how powerful our words are. And we love to quote that scripture, and we should quote the word of God. That power in life, the power of life and death is in our tongue, because it is. It's a true statement. The problem is we only think it works for the positive. But what happens is we have two gardens. You got a garden that's full of positive stuff, and you got a garden that's full of negative stuff. And for some of us, our positive garden is empty because we are continually looking for the negative. We're looking for things to fall apart. We're talking about it all the time. Stop talking about it and start talking about what you want to see. Start talking about the growth you want to see. Start talking about the fruit you want to see. Start talking about the blessings you want to see. Start talking about the blessing you want to be. Start talking about what you want your life to look like a year from now. Start speaking it over yourself. Don't worry about what anybody else say now. I'm talking about what you say about you, right? And so sometimes we're even repeating what other people say. Who cares what other people say? Because the only thing that matters is what you say about you. You know, I know everybody don't like me, and that's not required for me to be great. People liking you is not required for you to be great. It's not. You just gotta like you. You got to be able to look in the mirror. You have to be okay with who you are. And if you look in the mirror and you don't like what you see, change it. Y'all, we overcomplicate it. We overthink it. You ain't got to wait to Sunday for nobody to prophesy to you. You ain't got to wait on nobody to give you no word, talking about, they give me a word, baby. The pastor said, no, you know if you need something from God. And all you have to do is speak it. Plant the fruit that you want to see. Speak it. When I say planting, I'm talking about your words. I'm talking about what you are saying over yourself. And oh, don't get me started on our children. Make sure you're speaking life over your kids. Don't speak, you acting just like your daddy. You just like your no good mama. Don't say stuff like that about your children. And then you wonder why they frustrate you so. Because I did a short video. I need to post it about this very thing. We get frustrated around our kids so much, but it's because we've attached a negative name to our children. We've attached negativity, something that brought us great pain. We took that and attached it to somebody that we love, and we wonder why every time they're in our presence, it's something like, oh, they just don't listen. Oh, they just aggravate me. Oh, they just frustrate me. No, you have spoken it into the atmosphere. The person that abused you, the person that was negative to you, the person that didn't do you right, you've given that name to your child. And now when they're in your presence, there is a frustration that's aggravating your spirit. It ain't coming from your kid. It's coming from the memory. It's coming from the bitterness. It's coming from the hurt that you had, but you attached it to something that you love. I wish I had time to even fully unpack that and teach you that. Good morning, Coach Bernice. I want y'all to know your words have power, and not just your good words. Also your negative words. Those negative words that you're speaking. I would buy a house, but ain't nobody in my family bought no house, and child, ain't nobody got no good credit. So, excuse me, I might as well go over here. Who said you had to settle? You don't have to settle. See, God will give you grace and favor in areas of, because he said he'll give you the desires of your heart. And the reason he'll give you the desires of your heart, because if you're a believer, he has your heart. So you don't desire anything outside of his will. Okay. So he can give you the desires of your heart. So if you desire to be a homeowner, God can give you that. But it's not going to just fall out the sky. You're going to be riding down the road and be like, whoa, there's my house. And like, just move in. No, you got some work to do. He'll give you the grace to get the work done so that you can move towards the thing that you desire. He'll give you favor. He'll give you resources. He'll put people in your path. He'll give you the discipline. But you have to do the work so that the thing that you are speaking can truly manifest. We have what we say, and we have to have corresponding action to our faith. That's why the word says faith without works is dead. So you got to have faith for it, and then you got to work for it. You got to have corresponding action. I can tell what you believe by what you do. I can tell what you believe by what you do. It's not really all about what you say. Speaking it because it comes from your heart. Now it's in your mind. Now it comes out as your words. But if when you really believe it, that your behavior follows. I'll give you another relationship analogy. You love somebody, but if you don't love them enough to be faithful, go play with somebody else. That ain't love. that ain't love. You don't love me enough to stand with me. You don't love me enough to cover me. You don't love me enough to be faithful to me. You don't love me enough to help provide for me. You don't love me enough to stand with me when I'm sick in my body. That ain't love. That's lust. Lust feels a lot like love until it's time to sacrifice. You have, that's a whole nother lesson. You have what you say. That's what we're talking about today, y'all. You have what you say. There is power in your words. So if you're speaking positive, there's power in that. But if you're speaking negative, there's power in that. If you're speaking positive and have the corresponding actions, it can manifest. If you're speaking negative and have the corresponding actions, it will manifest. It's not the devil all the time. Sometimes it's this. It's this mouth. It's unforgiveness. It's hurt. It's revenge unfulfilled. It's bitterness. It's all of these things that hide. Like we think sin is just what we can see. It's the hidden sins of the heart that causes our mind to think negative and our mouth to speak negative. And so our current life is a result of our best thinking. As an adult, I'm not talking about children that can't make decisions for themselves. I'm talking about adults. I'm not talking about, I know many of us had some challenging childhoods, me included. But at what point does it become our responsibility? How you came into this world was not your fault. But who you are when you die, that's on you. That's on you. That's on you. Go and create the thing that you wish you had. Go and create something that your family has never seen. Go and create what it is that you desire on the inside of you. And I remember when I began to have this shift in my life, I wanted something, but I couldn't even put it into words. I couldn't articulate it. I made a decision that I was going to go and I would invest in me, and I would go to trainings to be around people that were living what it was I wanted, so that they could talk to me and help me to overcome my fear of money and finances. They would talk to me and help me overcome my fear of being in the public and my fear of being out of like my husband's reach, right? So a lot of people think that, oh, she's just so extroverted, but I prefer to just be with my husband and let him talk and I handle behind the scenes. That's what I prefer, but that's not what God has called me to do. But I had to put myself in situations where being comfortable was not an option. And so I began to speak what it was I wanted to see. I remember my husband would say, "How are we going to do that?" I said, "I don't know. I don't know how we're going to do it." But my very first coach with the John Maxwell team, Paul Martinelli, would say, "Suspend the need to know how." I don't need to know how. Today, I just got to give myself permission to want it. Today, I just need to give myself permission to know, to say that it's okay for me to have it too. Today, I just need to give myself permission to say that my children can go far beyond me. Today, you just need to give yourself permission to say it out loud. Tell it to people, and there are going to be people that don't agree, but you're not asking for their permission. You're just speaking it. And the more you speak it, the more confident you're going to become in what God is putting in your spirit. What you say is what you'll have. If you're saying positive, that's what you'll have. If you're speaking negative, that's the fruit you'll eat. You're going to eat the fruit of your words, because your words will become life, because your body will begin to make course corrections to give you what it is that you think that you deserve, even if you don't say it. Even if you don't say it. With your words, the sly, slick, messy side remarks and stuff, it reveals it. It reveals it. It reveals when you don't think you deserve it. It reveals when you think that somebody overlooked you, and because they overlooked you, you can't get to another level. It reveals all of that. It reveals when you're still blaming your parents and you 40 and 50 years old for who you are today, when at some point we have to take responsibility for who we are. So you have to begin to say, no matter what happened to me, I will. They did this, but I will. This one held me down, but I will. Like, you got to finish it with where you are going. And when you are tempted, when somebody is sharing with you what they're doing, and it does something on the inside of you, and you automatically want to be negative about it, I challenge you to zip it. Remember, when our grandparents would say, if you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. If you ain't got nothing good to say, don't say nothing at all. I know that's easier said than done. While you're retraining, because we're retraining our thoughts so that we can have the mind of Christ, so that we can see ourselves the way God sees us, so that when we speak over our own life, we are speaking the fruit that we want to see, the fruit that we want to live in, the fruit that we don't mind eating, and we won't speak anything negative over anybody else. Don't matter if you don't like them. Let God deal with them. Because just because they're not for you, they're still for him. He's still for them. The greatest testimony, I used to tell my husband, the greatest stone in my crown would be leading the one that hurt me to Jesus with no strings attached. I mean, I ain't got to say, remember what you did to me, but I'm going to lead you to Jesus. You don't do that. You lead them to Jesus. You pray for them. You love them with the love of Christ. You don't expose yourself to being hurt again. Now, that's a whole nother training. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying stay in something toxic that you're in danger. That's not what I'm saying. You got to use wisdom. But what I am saying is, don't allow your past to dictate who you are and where you're going. Connect with the Father. Let him retrain your thoughts. Let him heal your heart so that you can speak what you really want to see in your life. And it'll be something that you can be proud of. I love you. You have what it is you say.